It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
Welcome to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. This podcast is hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the sport of bowling. You will get unfettered access into the mind of one of the most gifted bowlers of this generation, who just happens to be the son of a living legend. So, without further ado, let's introduce you to the host of the show, Rad Rob Francois, Dr. Ocho, and the incomparable Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. This is episode number 8. I am your host, Radicalized Rob Francois.
It's the Ocho episode, buddy. Go, man. Run it up.
Hey, Och, what's going on, buddy?
You were supposed to say it's episode 8 for Ocho.
Oh, it's 8.
Looking forward to.
I didn't even put the 2 to 2 together, the 8-man Ocho.
No, that's actually 4. That's Quattro. But
that's
8,
fair.
4 times 2 is Ocho.
Do you want me to start over again? I can start over again, so we can.
Yeah, all right, yeah, please.
Happy Ocho episode, Ocho.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're such a dick.
Come on, I'm giddy tonight. It's episode Ocho. Come on. This is the little things we look forward to.
Well, yeah, you're the only one with numbers. Like Johnny and I can't fucking. Oh, it's.
Well, when we
Rad
get to
Rob.
Johnny episode, it'll be great. Or I can't wait till we run out of numbers and start using names. So good for you guys.
What's up, Ouch? How you doing, buddy?
I'm just a little giddy tonight, man.
I could tell.
That's it. No, go ahead,
That's
man.
it. Okay, no, good. No, I thought you had more. I thought you were going to elaborate on that.
No.
Okay.
It's episode Ocho. No, I don't have to. My being here is elaboration enough.
Should I play like a little tribute video to you, or
You don't have to. I don't want to hear like you don't know that you're my hero or something. Like who else is here with us?
I did that one time, Johnny. I actually made a little tribute video. I put "He's the Wind Beneath My Wings," and it was beautiful. I had a collage and all, and a bunch of pictures.
That's real nice, Rob.
Yeah. And
Did you appreciate it?
I thought it sucked really because I thought it was half-hearted. It was more to get in my good graces rather than like truly heartfelt.
He's right. Yeah, no, he's right. But that's what he does.
Happened? Some little Philly break your heart?
It was Rob. Who else is with us, Rob?
You couldn't tell?
You're so good. Like every other week,
his name is literally on the fucking show.
It's like you're on your game one week, and the very next week you're just off. Like,
yeah, no,
what is it with you, dude? Like, you seriously are just off every other week.
You really want to know why? You want to peel back the curtain a little bit?
I can't handle the truth, so no.
It's the marathon recording sessions that we do, and you just fucking talk and talk and talk and never shut the fuck up. So it takes us 3 hours to get 2 shows in.
Yes, sir.
2 shows in what? We're doing 1 show, and now we're doing another show. Dude, just go, man, go. I'm giving you the reins.
I was breaking kayfabe, but you ruined it.
You're breaking your chair is what you're breaking right now.
It is actually. I have a hole in the. You don't want to know. Anyway, Johnny Petraglia Jr., what's going on, buddy?
I'm enjoying the show. So far, that's what's going on.
This is literally what we do on our other show, like for an hour and a half. So
I'll have to sit on that one as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring him in one time. Why not? What's that?
You look pumped up this evening,
dude. I'm freaking jacked and juicy.
It's the Ocho show. It's episode Ocho. That's.
Did you take some citrulline before you started today? You look extra juicy.
Dude, I took niacin, I took oregano, basil,
excellent,
red pepper. Like, I even rubbed some Vaseline under my eyes and cucumber melon lotion.
That's really, really.
I didn't tell you where I rubbed the cucumber melon lotion, though. That's a thing for swelling purposes.
I wanted to take cyanide before we started, but I ran out.
Oh, you ran out? Who'd you give it to? Obviously not you. God, you can't even kill yourself right. God, you suck. Should we edit that out? That's terrible.
Do we ever? Eli! Edit that shit out.
Go ahead, Rob.
What are we doing?
You're.
I really feel like this is the main event show that we do now. Like you get me all flustered and fucked up, and I don't know what we're doing.
I didn't do it's show Ocho. I come in freaking jacked and juicy as all hell. I'm even tan. You can't tell because my mask is weathered because I'm out in the sun so much. But my eyelids are tan as shit.
They are.
So let's go, man. And I come in fucking house of fire, and and you lay an egg.
That's what I do. That's my gimmick, dude. That's what I do.
Oh, right on. Well, then you're doing it perfectly. Great show, everyone.
It's now time for Petraglia Unplugged. We never know what Johnny is going to say, so if you have small humans around, you may want to have them leave the room. We'll wait. No, really. We literally have no idea what Junior will say. Great, thanks. Here is Petraglia Unplugged.
All right, JP. What's on your mind?
I want to give some praise this week and kind of tie it in with something that I think gets looked over in the bowling world a little bit too much.
Oh, don't talk about Ocho again. I know it's the Ocho show, but fuck, man. Come on.
All right, then I'm out of ideas.
Hey, you're muted, jackass.
I'm flattered, and I say let's just go to the next segment.
No, really, Johnny. Yeah, what do you got?
Recently, the Senior Tour contested two of its annual majors, the United States Open and the Senior Masters. Two, hands down, the two hardest events to win at any level in our sport, mainly because of what makes the U.S. Open so hard to win is the grind, the amount of games. You figure even in shape 50-year-olds, 56 games over 5 days is a lot of bowling. And then to make it just to the step ladder and win, the U.S. Open is one of the hardest events to win in bowling.
Something never emphasized also on the telecast. I mean, they maybe touch on it, but like an amateur or even just a viewer wouldn't know that either. That's the thing. Kind of frustrating. How you talked about it a couple weeks ago, how we only see the presentation of the top 5 bowlers and you don't know the backstory. You don't know the grind and whatnot. So, all right, just there you go.
The comparison to that one is, again, I always reference golf, but, I don't agree with this because personally I don't like seeing the scores not super low. I like to see the guys shoot lower numbers when I watch golf, but the USGA runs the U.S. Open. So the U.S. Open, the first thing that they do is they take 2 of the par 5s and they make them par 4s. So the courses turn into a par 70 rather than a par 72. So at the end of 18 holes, when the leader in the clubhouse is +2, he's actually still even. But they had enough to, pull to change the 2 5s to 4s. In the U.S. Open in bowling, the oil pattern is so difficult. It's so generic that the tiniest little thing that goes wrong, typically on those oil patterns, you pay the maximum penalties for. So if you're on a 500-yard par 4 at the U.S. Open golf tournament, it's going to be hard to make a par if you hit a bad tee shot. It's going to be hard to make a par if it was still a par 5.
And think about this, also the greens too with those. So there's the other way. They make it so hard that almost they put almost a little bit of luck in it. The stimp and all that. I know it's not a golf show, but right, you're right. So they make the green so glass colored that you basically have to hit the stick, and if you miss a putt by a teensy bit, it could be off the green.
Exactly.
Same with this thing.
So now you go from the U.S. Open, which again the base of this rant is Tom Hess, who won the U.S. Open of bowling, and then 1 week later bowled the Senior Masters and won that event. And the Senior Masters is also one of the hardest events to win because of the format of it. If you qualify and make it through to match play, now you're stuck bowling head-to-head matches against opponents. So if you lose, now you have to win virtually 10 matches 3-game total series against the best bowlers in the world just to make it to the TV show. So Tom Hess, rookie year on the senior tour, close personal friend for a long time, goes out and he wins both of them. Tom Hess's entire bowling career from the good old, he's from Urbandale, Iowa. I don't know how long he was on tour, but he won the regular Masters, the young guys Masters. Let's call it 2009, 2008 maybe. I might be wrong with the year. And that was his only PBA title. And Tom Hess had always struggled with getting on himself, getting down. And a lot of times when I would have conversations with Tom, it was never his lack of talent in his bowling game. It was always a lack of confidence in himself mentally. So whatever happened to Tom before these 2 weeks that he came out and won these 2 events, something triggered in his brain mentally, because Tom didn't just wake up and all of a sudden be like, all right, I'm going to wax the floor with the greatest bowlers in the world. I mean, Tom Hess came out this year, made 4 television shows, led 3 of them, and won 2 majors in his inaugural season on the PBA 50 Tour. And this is no slouch tour. This is Amleto, Barnes, Mika, Parker, Walter Ray, Duke, Pete Weber, Bob Learn. You get the picture.
These are still the guys that would compete on the regular tour.
Exactly. They still could compete on the regular tour. So
it blows. Hold on, it blows my mind that Barnes is on the PBA 50 Tour. I'm sorry,
crazy.
It is. It really is. I remember when he first came out. Like, come on.
So I guess what this ties into for me is last week we talked about how like I've been struggling in league and how this sport is it's confidence, it's ups and downs. It's it's very, very much a sport of slumps and hot streaks. And right now, what Tom Hess has figured out is he's figured out a way to think differently when he's on the lanes. And that's the only reason why. I mean, Tom doesn't do anything fancy with the ball. He doesn't hook it more than anybody. He doesn't throw it straighter than anybody. He's not more athletic than other guys. He's not two-handed. He's not doing anything other than just making quality shots and believing in the shots that he's throwing. And that holds true in anything that we do in any walk of life. So my rant this week is more of a rave and like a kudos and a paying homage to Tom Hess to figuring out whatever it was to quiet those mental demons that I've personally seen him have throughout a long career. And all that man has ever wanted was to win and be awesome and be happy. And he seems like, well, he's definitely all 3 of those right now. And I think anybody that listens to that should take note that the best in the world can go for a decade and not win a title. And then in a span of 2 weeks, you never know how much it could all turn around.
Yeah.
And I respect that in anybody that does that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Tom Hess this week.
I like that. It doesn't always have to be a rant. It's whatever's on your mind. You have the platform to say whatever is there. And, it's always good to hear about the feel-good stories, too. I know Ocho typically likes to focus on the feel-good stories. He's never, ever negative. I've never seen him ever be negative about anything or anybody. He's the happiest guy I've ever met.
I mean, that's because I feel good physically, literally. I mean, I feel good mentally. When I'm touched, it feels good. The people who touch me they say it feels good. So there is plenty of feel good surrounding Ocho.
Yeah, especially when we won't get into that.
Good job. Let's have a bowling show, man. Come on.
I mean, it was about to go off the rails, but I pulled it back. So we're good now. We're good. Johnny, thank you for sharing that story about Tom and how proud you are of him. And hopefully he listens to this. And if not, well, he's an asshole.
I'm sure he will.
I had nowhere else to go from that.
So you just called him an asshole, even though he might listen. That's good. Tom, you're not an asshole, and we all are proud that you conquered whatever mental demon. Look, they say like the biggest track is in the 6 inches between your freaking ears.
Yeah, no, that's true. Now, Tom Doherty's an asshole because he didn't deserve to win the SP, but
according to JP.
Yeah, but Tom Hess, no, you're good. I was just trying to be a dick.
Well, good job on you, man.
That's what I do.
Look, you're good at it. No one's denying that.
I'm the best in the world at being a dick. When we come back, we're going to get into the listener mailbag in Johnny's Pro Shop. We'll be right back.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Straight Up 5.
Welcome back to the second segment of Straight Up 5, which is where we get into all of your questions in the listener mailbag. Let's find out what you want to ask the resident pro. Let's get into Johnny's Pro Shop.
Welcome to Johnny's Pro Shop. This is the place to learn from one of the best. Johnny Jr. will answer any questions you may have about all things bowling. So come in, feel free to look around, and JP Jr. will help you improve your game.
All right, guys, let's get into the mailbag. We got some really good questions, like we do every single week. But this one starts off with Tony from Newark. I don't know how far Newark is away from Assholeville, where Ocho is. But Tony writes, "What's
You're
up?"
Just a dick, dude. All right, stop this. All right, host the damn show and stop being a dick. It's every other fucking show with you.
At least I'm consistent. Tony writes, "What's up, guys? I love this show." See, he fucking loves the show. So suck it back at dicks.
Seriously.
Who were your bowling influences growing up, other than your dad?
Is he asking me?
No, he's asking.
I think so.
You said, "What's up, guys?"
Ocho, who were your bowling influences growing up?
Well, I'm curious too.
I'd like to know.
Motocross racer Rick Johnson was my guy, and then that's pretty much it. So, no.
All right, let's wrap it up. Johnny, who were your influences growing up beside your dad? Who did you like to watch bowling? Who did you try to emulate? Who were your bowling heroes growing up?
I loved Amleto Monticelli. I always thought it was insane how he turned completely perpendicular to the foul line with his body and was able to open his hand that much and still get his elbow back in the same spot. I'm mentioning everybody that's not dad just because, dad's obvious.
I mean, that was the question, like, other than your dad, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Amleto, Parker Bone, because just smooth precision. I mean,
two totally different ones too. Basically, you got Amleto the wide open, and then Parker the totally square to the line too. So that's a fun thing right there.
Yeah, and Parker speaks better English.
I admired so many bowlers. I mean, I wanted to be fiery like Pete Weber. I wanted to be aggressive like Voss. I wanted to smell blood like Mike Albee. I wanted to do exactly what I had to do when my back was against the wall like my dad. I wanted to hit it like Jason Couch. I wanted to be solid like David Ozio. So I guess all of those names in some way, shape, or form were my idols. I always wanted to look smooth, look pretty, and do what those guys do. And I never wanted to be a cranker that was known for only being able to hook the ball, but I never wanted to throw it dead straight and be labeled as a typical lefty. So I kind of tried to – that's why even to this day, Tim Max says that it's just such a mistake that I'm a lefty. He says it just does. He says, dude, you'd be like me if you were righty. So that was always one of the highest praises I got. So, that's another one. I always looked up to Tim Mack. So if I really had to pinpoint the people that I loved to watch growing up, it was Amleto and Parker. Those were the two that I watched the most. Yeah. Which, again, is – neither of those are the bowlers that I think are the greatest bowlers that have ever lived.
Right.
But they're both two that I certainly enjoyed watching.
I loved Amleto. I still do. I've mentioned before, I was a big no, I can't remember his fucking name. I am the worst. You're right, Ocho. I suck every other fucking show.
Everybody knows.
This is what happens when you get old. You fucking forget shit. God damn it. He was the one that argued with your dad and your dad told him to go fuck himself. Lefty, old He's dead now.
Earl Anthony.
God damn it, Earl Anthony.
You forgot Earl Anthony's name?
Yeah, I did. I literally.
And he didn't tell me to fuck himself. He said, I appreciate it, but I don't want to talk right now.
Yeah, I suck, dude. I suck. Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, wait a second. I don't know shit about bowling.
No, you don't.
I'm good at it, and I'm better, and I coach
you're really
everybody.
good at it. You're really good
But
at it.
holy fuck, you forgot Earl Anthony's fucking name.
I'm not even going to cut this out. Yes. No, I'm telling, dude, that's what happens to get old. I forgot his fucking name. I idolized him growing up, and I couldn't remember his name.
Gee, you could idolize Big Bird growing up. You forget their name? Jesus
I didn't like
Christ.
Big Bird at all. I was Oscar the Grouch.
Like, hey, this guy was it's like me saying, who's that guy, number 23 on the Yankees? Oh, I can't remember. That lefty. He was, fucking dude.
It happens, man. It happens. God damn,
that is
pal.
brutal. I thought you were like thinking of like some story he told on the. Oh, fuck this. Go ahead.
Earl Anthony and Amleto were my guys. were my guys growing up.
Now here's one for you, and this is going to be contrary to a lot of shit, right? Earl Anthony was, yes, the best, right?
Yeah.
But Earl looked like shit compared to my dad getting to the foul line, I think.
No, you're right.
I thought he looked dumpy. I thought he looked like a lefty. Like his right arm was just kind of there. He was shoving.
Bent elbow, and he pointed almost, right?
And he did. He tilted way far forward. His back leg wasn't on the ground. There was nothing aesthetically pleasing to me about Earl Anthony's game. So when I read all this shit, when people are like, oh, Earl was the smoothest ever, like, I appreciate you saying that, bro, but it's just like, it's like saying Shaq is the greatest free throw shooter ever to me. It's just not right. He may be one of the greatest basketball players ever, but he can't make a fucking free throw.
Right.
Earl Anthony could split cunt hairs all fucking night. Yeah, but he doesn't do it pretty.
That was his talent, though, too. That was literally his talent, was doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And you'd probably, even if you did roll finger grips and measure where they were, they'd be in the same spot on the same part of the lane every throw. And maybe he had to look clunky to do it, though, I guess. And that was his talent.
That's true of Walter Ray also.
Yes.
Walter Ray's the same way. But the thing is, like, I find Walter Ray pleasing to watch, especially older Walter Ray, because he's so aggressive through it at the bottom. He gives
his shirt always comes untucked, right?
His shirt's untucked because he's going after it. Like, I am
violent.
Like, yeah. You want to go after it and be that accurate? I'll watch you all day. That's another one. I admired Walter Ray because of how good he was.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
Combo right there. Hell yeah, man.
See, that could have been your rant too about how.
So you're more like. I feel like you like the unorthodox, but yet the most, I guess, the smoothest and the most simple form. You got the one genre or the other. Like you said, Parker, who literally looks like he's churning butter when he bowls.
He does.
It's just like everything is so goddamn smooth.
Yeah.
But then you got Amleto wide open, arm out, elbow chucked, and then so you have and think about this. They still have to release the ball, and everything winds up in the same spot, right?
Right.
Right.
Like a baseball swing or a golf swing. So all that stuff, they still wind up in the same spot and still have to, again, the follow through is still different, but they're, you said it, tucked in the last week, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have to release it. So all that fun stuff is almost like their character, and then they have to still let the ball go.
Well, I'll give you a great example of that is Johnny and I's old friend, Michael Lichstein, who had the craziest fucking approach I've ever seen. Like, to this day, I don't even know if anybody's ever replicated that or duplicated it. It looked like he was taking 15 steps, but I mean, he went here and then all the way back, but was fucking consistent every single time. One of the greatest lefties ever.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
If you took a still shot of every single one of those guys right at that one point, I bet you their elbow is tucked. I bet you they're cupped.
Yeah. Mark Baker put out a book, who's one of he's like the most world-renowned coach there is. He came out with a book, and like in the early first chapter, he has 10 different pros, completely different pros, men, women, and pivot step going into their slide. Their arm swing, their back swing is perpendicular, or it's parallel to the ground. So as they're going into the completion of their slide, so there's like the 3-foot separation from the planted step going into the slide, that arm is 100% parallel to the ground. The only 2 bowlers that are not in that spot that have had success on the PBA Tour are Jason Couch and Marshall Holman. Marshall Holman's arm, because of how fast his feet were and how long his slide was, his arm swing was below the parallel point, and it was shorter. Jason Couch's is the only arm swing that's successful that's above that plane. So if you ever watch Couch or Marshall Holman in slow-mo, as they're going into their slide, you'll see that they're the only bowlers who are not parallel to the ground that have had success on tour.
So Holman would have more of a slide, so he had to be ahead, but Couch had more of a plant, I guess, so he had to be behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then Couch would, okay. Fucking Ocho's picking it up, man.
Oh, yeah. So
that's wild too. And so all again, styles, you could if you see a bowler, you wouldn't even know who the telecast was. You'd say, hey, that's so-and-so based on his approach and everything. But yet, if it was a frame by frame shot of their arm, you'd be like, whose arm is that? Unless you could, you know what I'm saying? If you couldn't see their face.
Yeah. I mean,
they all have to be in the same position.
If you ran a bowling show from any year from 1970 to now and blacked out the entire bowler, I would tell you who it was in one shot. The plane itself, if I was just watching the swing plane back and forth, I could identify certain bowlers. I could identify Wes Malot's loop. I could identify the way Tommy Jones puts his hand in the ball. I could identify the swing path of Parker Bone, but it'd be way harder to do than seeing their whole body and their physical.
On a frame by frame saying you'd be like, I don't know who the hell that is. It's amazing. Still, you still have to mechanically throw the ball properly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, getting on to our second question.
Hey, had more questions.
Jacques from Northern Ontario writes in, do you what's the matter, Roach? The fuck, we got Canadian listeners. I don't know why you're
I know. I have a bad.
Nothing funny about Ontario. I mean,
with somebody named Jacques.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Right. That's another story for another time. Sorry, Jacques, for that. Jacques from what the fuck, Coach?
I'm holding in gas. Just leave me alone.
Right.
I'll mute myself.
I don't understand. Why? I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna look it out. I'm just gonna read the question. Jacques from Northern Ontario writes, do you know the reason why ABC canceled the Saturday bowling show that was on for like 40 years? It was such a popular show. The ratings were always good, Johnny. Did you ever, your dad ever know, or anybody ever tell you, like, why did ABC cancel like one of their top shows, especially on a Saturday when fucking nothing else is going on anyway?
I don't.
God damn it, you know. Fuck.
I honestly wish that I did.
Yeah.
All I do know is that after they canceled it, we had tried to contact ABC to see if we could get some CD or DVD versions of my dad's televised 300 from 1994. Mm-hmm. Because back then we only had VHS, and it was before we had the VHS to DVD converters. And I remember, like in 1997, 96, when ABC was done, trying to get anything PBA related from ABC was next to impossible. So I don't know what the reason. I don't even know if they canceled just bowling or the entire wide world.
I was going to ask. That's Wide World of Sports is what it was, right?
It wasn't, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if
they still would do boxing matches. They would do Evel Knievel. They would do so many jumps. Right.
Yeah.
So there was always something, and then for those weeks, I think I learned the bowling would come on. So. Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't think it was a contract with just ABC, but the whole Wide World of Sports thing with Jim McKay, Chris Schenkel, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it was always baffling to me that, I mean, it was such a performer for them. Like I said, on a Saturday afternoon, which isn't usually a hot spot for TV, but it had really good viewership. I mean, like I said, they had a great – look, don't get me wrong. They had a fantastic run. They were on for like 35 to 40 years. So
you can tell, Jacques, you could reach out to you could ask that question on any social media outlet in any bowling channel, and somebody would reach out to you. You can go on to USBC and speak with Jeff Riggles directly. Richgels is his last name. He'd be happy to answer that for you if you have the knowledge. Other than that, I really wish I could give you some more input. I'll tell you what I will do is, because we're looking to get Dad on our next show coming up on episode 9, I'll reach back out with a little bit more information on that question, because I don't want to leave you hanging and give you nothing.
And I do appreciate that. And I think I've interacted with Jaquez on Twitter before. So he could reach out to those guys too. But yeah, I would like to ask your dad, because I'm sure your dad, has a lot more inside knowledge from that time period. But thank you for the question, Jaquez. We always appreciate our fans in Ontario and everywhere around the world. This comes from Martin. Not sure where he's from. Hey, Johnny. Hockey and football have skills competitions. Billiards has trick shot tournaments. Why doesn't the PBA have something similar? Something different to get more people to watch? I'd like to see a trick shot contest in bowling, or maybe even a skins game like golf. At one time they did, right?
They had both. Brunswick they called it the Brunswick Bowling Skins Game, but it was only aired for 1 year. They did it out of Spanish Springs Lanes in the Villages, Florida. And Randy Peterson, the current commentator of Fox on Fox for Bowling, Parker Bone, Mike Albee, and Walter Ray were the 4 participants in that Skins Game. If you come across that, I'm sure it's got to be on YouTube somewhere. It was actually really enjoyable to watch, and then it didn't really pick up anymore. There was a series prior to that. I don't even remember the name of the show, but they would have something that would also be a Skins Game. And then in the earlier years of the exempt tour, so we're going back to the early 2000s, like 04, 05, around there, the PBA Tour had a skills challenge. It was sponsored by Budweiser. All of the participants would wear the yellow button-down jerseys, and they would play a little segment of the pros competing with their own trick shots. I don't know why they didn't pursue those harder than they did. I think it would be really cool to watch a Skins Game now. I think they could do a lot of, rather than doing the huge events where there's 20 guys bowling at once, do a two-handed Skins Game, do a international Skins Game,
right.
Take the winner of the international Skins Game, the two-handed Skins Game, the United States Skins Game, and the senior Skins Game, and then make an ultimate Skins Game, charge spectators to get it, and pay $1 million to the winner. That would attract people. Like I've always said, you got to do it with money. And one of the biggest things that we run into when it comes to money is as Rob and I have spoken off camera, you need the governing bodies to work together in order to achieve something like that. And they don't. So I think that it would be great if somebody did it the right way. But the biggest thing is we need more coverage. We need to figure out a way to get like a small Skins Game series on Netflix that goes into the lives of the bowlers.
Right.
I mean, people will watch anything on Netflix. They'll watch anything. I mean, the 2 shows that are on there right now, one's about a guy getting murdered at 5 million views, and another one's about penguins. I mean, if you just get it into someplace that people are actually looking all the time.
Yeah.
South Park did an episode about that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's great.
Everything wants to be on Netflix.
That's true. No, it's a great point, Johnny. And dude, I'm like, Ocho mentioned a few weeks ago about UFC with the Ultimate Fighter. Give us, like you say, give us a bowling program where we learn more about these guys. We see them in a reality show type concept or whatever. And even put them in a house. Put Belmo and Jesper and Sorensen in a house together.
But I say put the amateurs in the house, though, really, and see who can then. But, there was something you had mentioned last week maybe it was 2 weeks ago about the owners of the PBA. And that's the part I didn't get. Imagine, I still feel like that's where I'm not but just as I like this freaking thing, but who owns the PGA? Who owns the NFL? But yet the PBA, a Professional Bowlers Association, is owned by a company, much like the UFC, I guess, with Dana White and all that, or now the IMG people, or whatever it is.
Yeah, similar.
So it's almost like they're the one league that's literally the professionals, but yet they're still owned, which means they're governed. As opposed to, again, the NFL, the MLB, it might make sense about why the dollar amounts are lower. I just reached on this because of what you were talking about. So just even if you don't have to go through it now, we'll do it another time. But like, it startles me that there's an owner of this professional league.
No, somebody does own the PBA, Ocho, and I've always wondered like about MLB and NHL and like who owns the copyrights to that? The owners of the teams,
like,
or
right.
like
that's where. Yes, I probably jumped in only because it sparked my brain. So we'll put that in the reserve. But like it just threw me for a sec because we're talking comparison and whatnot. So go ahead, guys.
No, we're done. That wraps up the segment.
Right on, fucking A.
Yeah, good job, Oach. You brought it home, brother. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show with some straight shooting. We'll be right back right after this.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Straight Up 5.
All right, guys, time for the last segment. Time to bullshit. Let's get into some straight shooting.
It's time for Straight Shooting. Johnny Jr. and the boys sit around, tell stories, and hopefully teach everyone some life lessons. Nothing is off limits. They let it all hang out. Get ready for some straight shooting.
Ocho, you had something that was bothering you, and we like to just bullshit in this final segment. A little bit like little nuances that piss us off in league bowlings, and you had something happen last year that you wanted to touch on. What was that?
It was just absurd because, all right, we always know they do these whole thing about, you got to be within 2 weeks of your dues and whatnot, which is fine. And I understand why a bowling alley would do it, but if you're known to pay up when you're supposed to pay up, that's fine too. It wasn't even that. So for some reason, we kept getting like these things that we're behind, and we're like, we're putting money in the envelope every freaking week. And I'm like, I don't get it. My thing is this, yours is, and we had to go back. And now people cheer when I talk bowling, by the way. I want you guys to know this. I go back and I look, and they made like a freaking $220 error like 8 weeks prior. And I'm like, what the frig, man? Like, now our envelope is so far ahead, like we're paid up till next year.
Like the community chest and Monopoly, like bank.
But yeah, right.
Bank error in your favor.
First of all, that meant somebody is going through our envelope and making, because supposedly if you're behind 2 weeks, you can't bowl. You have to forfeit.
Right.
And so that meant somebody was going through our envelope because, again, the proprietor knows who the bowlers are, knows who the honest ones are, who's been there and whatnot. It must have meant that somebody, some sour apple who saw us in first place, no, we took third, I get it, but they wound up coming up and going, hey, look, there's 5 weeks left in the league, and these guys are still, and we weren't. We were so far ahead. Who the frig is that worried that they're going through the envelope? That isn't either the league president or...
you have like a league secretary that usually handles that, or,
Right. And we would have been like, dude, it's just... And so finally, John L. is a guy that we know, and you just don't want to make him angry, no matter how bad his heart is. He's just one of them guys that...
You don't want to make John L. angry.
You just don't know. And it's like, you know what? I mean, I don't know. He's older, but you shifty eyes is all I got to say.
John L. could put us in the ground with one arm.
Unintentionally.
He's a
unintentionally.
Good guy to have on your side.
Yeah, 100. I can still remember, like, as teaching him how to exercise, and he's got these giant dumbbells in his hand. He can't really press them that much, but then he's holding them, saying, "Hey, should I put the dumbbell over here?" And holding a 70-pound dumbbell outwards, like saying, "Should I put it over here, or do I just put it right over on this?" And just stupid strength.
Yeah.
So, and again, He don't know it. You just don't want to piss the guy. So then he brought it up, and then finally I said, by the way, I know math. Why don't you guys know math? And the fact that you guys didn't know math made some weasel go through our envelope. Somebody went through our freaking envelope.
That's
What the fuck?
That's immoral. That's unethical. That's borderline illegal, right?
That's a Fourth Amendment violation, if you ask me.
I guess my first question is, what was their initial reason for opening your envelope?
Right. Why would
Because
they even?
we were in first place.
So they want to see if you were.
No, that's my question. Is like, who opened somebody else's cash envelope?
I don't know. We were in
So
first
everything
place.
else to me is completely inconsequential. Like, I would have just looked at them and said, don't ever touch my fucking envelope.
We didn't know about it. We found out about it because then we started getting notes in our envelope that we're behind. And I'm like, wait, how are we behind? We still keep putting money in. So somebody at some point that we bowled and we still don't know. And damn it.
It's probably
they're
Jordan.
lucky. Well, I don't know if it's Jordan because he doesn't pay anyway. So
somebody was
Did he
trying to
listen?
knock you guys off because you're in first and find a reason to like get you, fucking.
it was
the
supposed to
forfeiter.
be, they wanted a forfeit. They wanted to get the 7 for that night. And that's how it started. And then yet, because it was an addition problem on the bowling alley, so now it's all conspiracy. They're trying to keep Ocho down. Ocho still perseveres. Now I'm getting fired up, man. All right, so there was probably something else, but that was some shit.
Well, I know you're a doctor too, so I mean, why don't you do some investigating?
What the fuck? I'm a doctor.
Doctors
who's
investigating.
Are you that dumb? Are you the guy that looked in my envelope?
That was definitely Jordan.
Anyway, that was my rant. So I don't know if I did good, if I didn't do good. I feel like I
mean,
I thought it was great. Yeah.
the league envelope rule, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I've bowled in leagues for my entire life, and there's always at least 20 people in every league that are pretty much behind an entire half a league season.
And then they
say,
pay
just
by the
take it
last
out of
of
my
the year.
winnings at the end of the year. So instead of giving me back 400, give me back 100. Like it's a dumb. First off, the only reason for anybody to open another team's envelope is because they're a piece of shit. Like that's really all there is to it.
Yeah.
Because they're going there with they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to take the money that's in the envelope, or they're going in there with the intention to rat you out because they either A, don't think they can beat you, or B, have nothing to better do with their fucking.
Yeah,
point.
there's no like noble way about
Right.
it.
There really isn't.
No matter what you say now, it doesn't matter because I already know there's only one of two reasons why you were in here to begin with. So those people from the onset of it, I'm just like, well, fuck this guy. I'm going to make this guy's night a living hell now.
And that's the rule stickler. Well, the rules say you have to.
The rules say I shouldn't jump you every time I'm up next to you also.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
gonna
but
do
guess
that for
what?
3 games now.
Wait till my bowling ball falls out of my hand as you're throwing it right now. All right, anyway, go. No, I get it. It was and this again organically. I just kind of mentioned it as like, wow, this is some kind of weird shit that happened towards the end of last year, and it was still a mathematical fucking problem.
It's just bowling. God damn, pal. I don't.
All right.
You look like a Disney
So what-
princess.
So why don't you just act like a dick to everybody then?
Me?
Yeah, if you didn't know who it was, just fucking don't single anybody out. Just,
Oh, I don't have no. I just win. I just win. Dude.
You just win
Ocho,
no matter what.
Like you didn't know the word ocho also means win in Swahili.
No, I did not know that. John, anything about your league that pisses you off, or leagues in general, or in the past, or habits of people that maybe just stick in your craw?
The only thing that really drives me nuts, nobody in my league bothers me. What drives me nuts is that for the league meeting at the start of the year, there's like an unspoken agreement amongst every asshole on this planet that that's the night that they're just going to tell the entire room their views on everything. It's the league runs smoothly every year. Every league I'm ever in runs perfectly fine. Period. It doesn't matter. It's always fine. And all the bitching and all the complaining that happens in that meeting room, it's like, aren't we all here to just bowl and try and have a good time? And instead they want to rip each other apart like it's really going to change the outcome of your bowling season if the entering team averages 870 instead of 865. That's
fair.
You know what? That's another thing that I think needs to happen. I think that with the what's the word?
Ocho's
Inflation of averages, that team cap should go way up. I think either go way up or go way down, one or the other. If you go way up, then you can have super fiery competitive teams, but you load the top. If you go way down, then you separate all the big guns, and then maybe the lower average bowlers don't pitch as much. So there's two schools of thought there that they can go after. But yeah, in general, it's you're fighting a losing battle either way.
I was going to say, still not everyone's going to be happy, and you're never going to do that, but like the majority isn't going to be happy.
So three things that piss me off, Johnny.
Yeah.
Consistently.
You're going in now?
Oh, yeah. No, because somebody always does it. Wearing their fucking outdoor shoes down into the fucking bowling area. Like, just not changing their shoes at the tables, but walking into their, even putting their balls in the ball return with their fucking sneakers on.
Where you guys are from, where I used to be from, fuck yeah, drove me nuts.
Yes.
Out here, because there's so little precipitation, when there is, people are happy and go out of their way. Nobody wears their wet shoes in the concourse except open bowlers. People do not do it out here because just the humidity alone, when it kicks up out here, the what drems onto the approach, it is so massively tacky. It's dangerous out here when it rains. So people are at least bowlers are aware of that. But back home, man, dude, when I would see somebody come treading in like through the snow,
and then yes, especially
dump those triple rollers down the staircase while they're there, I was looking at them, you just that fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I've never actually seen that. I don't know if
really
maybe in etiquette. I swear to God, I feel like people are just
bowling centers.
It's well known maybe amongst people in the
like,
again in this.
We wouldn't even walk around with our bowling shoes like down the concourse, to go get something. We put little fucking slippies on our shoes. Little booties on.
I never did because I'm Ocho, but whatever.
Yeah. When I was working capital equipment for Brunswick, when I would travel in the Northeast and I would go to upstate New York, like Tonawanda area, Geneva, a lot of those bowling alleys, when you would enter the bowling alley, you would have to leave your shoes at the bar entrance. And then you would have to go through the bar. You weren't even allowed to walk in the bowling alley with your street shoes on. And like I thought that was a little much. Like I would just go in there and steal 10 pairs of good shoes. But
right.
Yeah, it was. They actually made you do that. They made you enter in a completely different spot with no shoes on.
Yeah,
but yeah, that one. Yeah, just tying in with hitting ball returns. When you prime example. Ocho, I'm asking you this one definitely also. When I go to the gym and I lift weights, and I put plates onto a machine, when I'm done, I put the plates away.
You take them off. If you're strong enough to put them on, you're strong enough to take them off.
When I'm done with a bench, if there's a bottle of cleaning spray and a paper towel roll there, I clean the bench. If I walk past an empty water bottle, I pick up the water bottle and I throw it in the trash. Yeah. Why do I do all these things? I go there every day.
It's making it better. It's like a sand trap. You make it better than what you saw it as. And
exactly.
I'll take it a little further. After the pandemic, how lucky were we to have the damn gym open?
Exactly.
So now you're going out of your way to do it, and still people are freaking assholes, man. I don't get it, but go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to rant.
That's fine. So, God, what the hell were we even talking about? What was I comparing?
There was making it. It was when you're at the gym, you're just your etiquette is there. Like you're going to make it better.
Yeah. So I put the shoes in the same category with the people that kick ball returns. Like that's my bowling alley is like my second home. Well, my third home.
They're
now,
defacing it basically.
Yeah, and like I want to clean it up. I want to keep it neat and shit. So and like. You can't be that stupid to go. And then that same asshole that wears those shoes in the settee area is the same guy that's going to go bitch to the proprietor and say that the approaches are tacky.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly right.
Because I walked in with my snow-covered shoes and whatnot.
Real quick, two other things that piss me off. People that leave their fucking towel on the ball return right over the fucking vent. And I don't want to pick up somebody's fucking oily towel and get oil all over my fucking hands, but I need some fucking air, because my hands are fucking wet.
That never bothered me. I just move it.
Yeah, see, no, I just and somebody will be like, "Oh, what the fuck you touching my shit for?"
I'll say, do you even have to fucking ask?
Right.
You even have to fucking ask. That's all I would say.
Are you going to blow in my hand? Or
right.
You're right. I'll go use the fucking air on lanes 41 and 42. Douchebag.
Or assholes that would use their fucking rosin bag at the ball return and just fucking get it all over the place. Like just fucking pat.
If you know you're tapping fingers into chalk rosin, or you know you got a bag that's got a lot, what's
it's
happening?
Just common sense, courtesy shit.
Common courtesy is becoming a thing of the past. Well, I mean, our generation certainly knows that, but common courtesy is coming a thing of the past. Number one, and number two, people don't even know what common courtesy is anymore.
Right.
Or in that area, or in that bowling alley atmosphere, they just don't think it applies, or I don't know. But yeah, I always like what pisses me off, Rad Rob? People that bring baby powder and dump it somewhere.
Yeah.
If I'm bowling against somebody and I see that, that's like the one night that I'm willing to take my stuff and just say I'm just not going to bowl tonight.
Yeah,
because that's an injury in the making, though, too, man. Like that's not even.
And it's a blatant disregard for rules, whether they're enforced or not. It's like an unspoken rule. It's like what you do at a yield sign. You're supposed to do certain things.
Yeah.
So, and then one of them is to not possibly kill somebody else. I can just imagine a 65-year-old woman going up to the foul line and losing her pivot step because she stepped in baby powder.
And then breaking a hip or something like that.
No,
that guy saying, I didn't do shit. I do this every week. And then defending it. Those are the people that can just get the fuck out.
Yeah. Now, when Ocho did it, wasn't baby powder. It looked like it, but it was another different substance.
It was flour.
Yeah. Helps his game a lot. Fires him up. Guys, always fun to talk shit. I love our third set. I mean, I love all our segments, but this one's probably my most favorite because we just kind of, like I said, let it all hang out. Ocho,
you couldn't tell because the camera was only in a certain spot. But
fair. Ocho, tell them about your Twitter.
Go ahead, tell them about my Twitter.
God damn it, every week. You can find Ocho on Twitter if you want to talk to him, even though he never, ever gets on there or answers anybody.
I'm on there. I just don't like to be bothered. You can bother me if it's something good. Don't bother me if it's something stupid. It's that simple. I mean, that's kind of like human fucking living, guys.
Fair. It's at the Dr. Ocho. That's at the THEDR Ocho on Twitter, and he might get back to you. Johnny is on Facebook if you want to look him up. It's Johnny Petraglia on Facebook. I fucked up and gave you guys the wrong email address last week.
Still no social media for Johnny.
We're working on it. We're getting there. It's a project. We're on it. We'll get there by next year, I'm sure. Our email address is straight up 5 FIVE, not the number 5. I messed up last week and said it was the number 5, and we still got emails this week, which is good. But
I wonder how many people have the actual email with the number 5 rather than FIVE.
You'd be surprised. Yeah. How many Ochos are there?
And are they now reading our questions? Son of a bitch.
So it's straight up 5 FIVE, straight up 5 at gmail.com. Keep sending in your questions. We always love hearing from you, and Johnny loves answering questions. So, guys, appreciate it. Always a good time talking bowling with you. Well, not you, Och. I'm fucking tired of talking to you twice a week now.
You think this is a joy for me? I'm here to see my buddy, not you. Because now the contract's over, so I don't have to say it anymore.
No, you don't have to say it, but I mean, you're still doing the other show with me every week, so.
I feel bad. It's like one of them things where, you just like to help out the person that's like just so down on their luck and, well, I can do it. So that's kind of how it is. And I come off like that, too, because I'm a great guy.
I mean, you're okay.
All right, I'm an okay guy.
This year?
What's that?
You're going to out-average me this year?
Oh, we're back to this again on my bench press.
You don't think I forgot about that one? That was a call out.
You guys never really actually agreed on anything.
So. I'm going to agree to it. I'll tell you what, though. 36
weeks. A handicap?
I'll give you a handicap. Yeah, and listen, I'm not lying. I'm like 206 right now through 3 weeks. I'm established already. I'll give you 14 and a half pins.
14 and a half.
He's doing the math.
All right, well, what are we? So,
he's a doctor of generalities, not a doctor of math. So he's looking it up.
Because he had me by like 23 last year. So, all right. Well, what do I do? So,
you were what? 213 last year? 214? Somewhere around there.
Fuck you, Rob. 216.
Oh, sorry, 216. Sorry, my bad.
So it's for 10 grand, right?
10 grand. 14 and a half.
I'm in. And then we'll do the bench and the biceps and the triceps also
there you
for
go.
50 grand.
Okay, sounds good.
So we're in. I'm in. You guys heard it here.
All I have to do
Straight
is
up
win the
5.
first bet, and then I'll move.
All right, you guys heard it here. The bet has been made, and we're going to follow up on that each week to see what their progress is. Until then, guys. Until then.
Every week now. Until then.
I don't hear it. Thank you for pointing it out, Ouch.
Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure.
Yes, Johnny, thank you for being here. Oh, Joe.
He's ending the show for you.
No, he is.
Suck.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
I
he's doing.
suck. Guys, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Straight Up 5. If you would like to send your questions into Johnny Jr., send us an email at straightup5@gmail.com. That's straight up FIVE@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5 right here on the Rad Rob Radio Network.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.